Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Astroneer Glitchwalker series, and indeed, welcome to the finale of my Glitchwalker series. In today's episode, I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to come to the conclusion that if this is the last episode, then we must wrap up the Glitchwalker storyline. And, wow, this could be a cruel hoax, of course, but I'm not capable of doing that sort of thing to you guys. So, yeah, strap yourself in, put on your fancy, comfortable, all those other good things type spacesuit, and, yeah, let's get into the action. Now, we're giving the rover a good old once-over here because I'm trying to work out what the most bare-bones setup is that we're going to be able to take with us to the core of the planet, because that is the next step. Now, you can see we've got a portable habitat with us, we've got a bunch of tethers. Minor spoiler, I think I could have done with a couple of more tethers, but we did okay. Mental note, if you're planning on doing the Glitchwalker series and you kind of get up to this point, I would suggest probably an extra pack of tethers. So make it 5 full packs, and obviously depending on the direction you travel and a few other things, you may even need more than that, but I was pretty okay with what I took with me. Now, that out of the way, we are now heading down into the bowels of the planet. And we didn't end up, we took a bunch of stuff off, then we just ended up putting it back on again. So I was of the impression that the rover we had was definitely going to get the job done. And so, we already have this path that we dug down to the level that we needed for the Zeta Vault. We're just going to follow that one down. It kind of makes sense just to reuse the same road. I've sped this up a bit just because it actually takes a while to get down here. And the further down I get, the floatier the rover gets, and the slower I have to drive. I risk, falling off the ramps that I have. Now, as it turns out, the location we come out at here with the Zeta Vault, it's not too bad relative to this next locator marker that the floating mustache guy left for us. So this is the place that we're going to get ourselves lined up and ready to dig down. And we're just making a bit of a tweak in our course here, but we're kind of more or less heading in the right direction. Now, we didn't actually fill up on soil, so I'm kind of hoping that we can do that as part of our next round of digging. So, actually, no, I must have filled up with soil. Oh, I must have cut that bit out. Apologies. Yeah, I did end up filling up with soil, and that is definitely a good idea here. And, minor spoiler, but I don't think, depending on how you choose to do the core, I'm going to say that 2 soil canisters can be enough. But if you wanted to pack a third, I certainly wouldn't say no to that in retrospect. But again, we didn't do too badly with what we had. So, however, we've run into a bit of a problem. Now, you remember in probably at least one of the previous episodes, I mentioned that this level 1 vehicle drill was starting to struggle against the harder material. Yeah, we've just hit something we can't drill through. And I sort of half suspected that might be a problem. And look, I could try and dig around it, but given the nature of this DLC, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to be able to get around it. So, we resigned ourselves to driving back to the surface. Don't worry, I actually do cut that out. And we've got to work on getting ourselves a better drill. So, yes, rejoin me in a few moments here on the surface and I'll let you know what I had to do. Alright, clearly we need a better vehicle drill. We had the drill strength Mark 1. We're looking at what it takes to make the drill strength Mark 3, but I couldn't remember if I was going to be able to efficiently make diamond. In retrospect, I think I probably could, but we thought we'd have a bash at making the vehicle, like the drill strength Mark 2. Now, that in itself presents a bit of a problem because we need titanium. Actually, we need titanium for the Mark III as well, but the Mark II is easier to make, so we're going to go out and get some titanium. Now, in amongst our drilling down into the planet, we didn't find any. And I ended up doing a bit of a search because I was at the stage here where I was wanting to just finalize the series, and I wasn't going to just randomly drive around the planet for 3 hours hoping that I would come across some titanite. So I had a bit of a look, and I found that it does spawn in the mountains near one of the storms. And so I've gone over there, and sure enough, it was like 2 inches off the main path that I'd already drilled with the vehicle. So, you know, things being slightly different, I probably would have stumbled across it when I was, you know, out and about doing that particular storm. So, yeah, no big spoilers there, to be honest. Anyway, we've got a bunch of titanite. It does take a little while to smelt. Now that we've done that, we need to make some titanium alloy. And trying to think what else goes with it. But that's okay. We're going to crunch this out. We need some steel. And we need some titanium alloy. Yep, there we go. I'm not sure why I needed 2 steel. I think I was just making a second one just in case. But we're got to unlock that drill because we didn't actually commit to getting the Mark II yet. In fact, we're still not quite committed to it. We're just grinding out what the common components are, and we're going to settle on the Mark II drill. So we're just getting the remaining bits and pieces together. When you get down to these sort of super high-tech composite materials, it is, I have said before, it's a bit of a fluff trying to make some of them. And, I mean, the titanium alloy wasn't too bad, but then to make the nanocarbon alloy, you've got to put that in with other things. And anyway, that's why making the RTGs is such a pain in the bottom. I see people with YouTube videos that make entire factories dedicated to producing nanocarbon alloy, but if you asked them how much time is involved farming all the materials to make it, yeah, I don't have that sort of time available, I'm afraid. I have a life. I do like to play Astroneer, but by the same token, I do like to do other things as well. So, look, if you're one of those people that likes to build, you know, gigantic factories in Astroneer just so you can have virtually infinite resources, hey, look, if that's your game, then go for it. But that's if and when I play factory games, it's in a factory game. It's not in Astroneer. So Yeah, the tools are a bit different and it's a bit less grindy in a lot of aspects when you play some of the other factory games. But anyway, long story short, we have got our Mark II drill and we are now heading down into the planet once again. And we are going to, see if we can advance this story finally. Now, the core of the planet is like a bunch of sort of broken shells with nothing but air in between. And this is why I was saying bringing some more soil with you is probably not a bad idea, because you very definitely go through soil faster than you can gather it down here. So for the moment, I'm just trying to ramp down as close as I can to our destination. And we can see some fancy stuff going on down below. We'll certainly get to that in due course. But yeah, we're just trying to get down to, I guess, the bottom layer of these shells. Or if not the bottom layer, as far down as we can get. Now, the gravity down at this level is appallingly light. Like jumping, you'll just float in the air forever and ever and ever. And it's not an uncommon scenario when you're in the core of a planet. So in that regard, if you've been to the core of a planet before, you'd be used to it. But because this planet's like way bigger than any of the other planets in the game, I think the floaty factor is actually even worse to an extent with Aeolus. Just observationally, I don't know if it actually is, it just felt like it was. Now, in a side note, there is actually Titanite down here, but there isn't very much of it, so I'm glad I wasn't relying on the Titanite down here as a source to be making equipment from, because I'd probably have to mine out all of it just to get a couple of nuggets. So yeah, we're going to skip out on that side of our visit to the core. Now, I was getting very low on soil, and I was kind of hoping that by skimming this surface, I would actually end up soil positive, but as you can see, that is not the case. So we're basically out of dirt at this stage. And we've got a very floaty rover, which almost took a dive. So, yeah, you need to be, if you're down here with this rover, you need to be super gentle with your movements. Otherwise, it will either climb to the sky or, fall very, very slowly. Anyway, we've reached this point of basically not being able to go any further. But then we can see the core of the planet is actually not that far below us. So, yeah, look, out of possible places to end up, I think you could be a lot worse off than where we are here. Now, I'm just going to have a little look around. For the moment, everything seems fairly quiet. And we're just looking at working out where we are relative to the marker that our mysterious mustachioed benefactor has left behind for us. And we can see it is still massively below us, but also it is off to the side by a distance that concerns me. And of course, you can't run tethers through thin air, so we do kind of need to get ourselves a bit closer. Preferably try and get ourselves to one of the spires that actually sort of runs down towards the core of the planet. Now, the closest one I could get to is this one that I'm very close to right now. And running on empty with soil, this is where a third soil canister definitely would have come in handy. So, yeah, anyway, we did get close enough. The canister we've got on us is going to be enough to create ramps for ourselves. We're just not going to have enough dirt to be able to make anything meaningful that the rover could use. So we're going to tether over to here, and we're going to do our little angled ramp trick here so that we can enter and leave this pillar without risk of getting stuck. And yeah, then we're going to jump down on the pillar and we're going to see if we can work out how to get to the location that we need to get to. Alright, I'm going to highlight it with my mouse here in a moment, but sort of to the left of where the radar is at the moment, you'll see there's like an odd item on that, close to the bottom of that far spire. That's where my mouse cursor is now. That is the source of this signal that we need to get to in order to move the mission forward. So we're going to sort of maneuver around and try and get across to that spire. We've got sort of two options. We could go down to the core of the planet and then work our way back up again, or we can tether across there from sort of the crusty layer, if you like, and that's the option that we're going to go with here. If we do run out of tethers, we could always try again the other way, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get the job done going this way. Alright, so far so good. We made it over here in one piece. We're just going to repeat our little ramp making exercise that we did before. And pretty soon I feel like we're going to be able to get to that location, which should be down this here spire. Anyone got any thoughts on what might happen after we access that special location? Alright, well, no spoilers. You're just going to have to wait a few moments longer. Alright, I know I've said it before, but we are now literally hacking the planet. Anyway, so I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. I mean, it's Astroneer, so I'm not expecting, universe ending things to occur, but by the same token, we are very, very, very deep into the planet with no respawn location. So this is why we brought that with us before activating the whole hack the planet sequence. Well, it's not quite a ghost in the machine. Well, it's a ghost of a mustache in the machine. I don't know. Anyway, we have activated that step, and we can see that the core firewall is actually still up. And so we need to deal with the counter hack that Blitz unleashed on us. If we have a bit of a look around here, we can see, oh, yeah, okay, we've got some storms we need to deal with. So we're just going to bring our habitat back up here with us. And we're going to, we're going to see if we can work out exactly what we need to do with these storms. Now, from the little video that played, we can see that it looks like there's a counter hack key or something available within the center of each storm, and that, I'm guessing, has something to do with bringing the firewall down. Now, we're not going to be able to speculate on what to do with the counter hack keys for the moment. We just need to focus on actually getting them first. So we are very close to this storm. So we're going to tether up to near the edge of it, and we're having a look around, and we can see there is a platform down there that does seem to have something on it. So we're going to see if we can get to that. This must be the alpha storm because the hack indicator is going very, very, very slowly. So yeah, giving us plenty of time to do a bit of research before we commit to our next course of action. Alright, I am seeing that it's actually the Delta counter hack key inside this storm, so, okay, well that means the Alpha one hasn't happened yet. If you ever lose the keys, you can just activate the pedestal and it gives you a new key. As you can see, when you jump, you float for days. So there's going to be a lot of 0G, well, almost 0G, running and jumping and carrying on in terms of getting around in this space. And yeah, this is pretty hardcore, floating through the middle of a planet with literally nothing to fall back on. But sure enough, we landed on this particular spot. Now, something to notice, we actually ended up running to the top of it, which means we're above the level where we parked our rover. Now, we're turning our compass back on so that we can try and get back to our rover before we run out of air. Yeah, this one's going to be tight. And we made it. So, anyway, that's... I'd probably think to deploy the, you know, this little shelter somewhere a little bit better than what I did. And you're going to want to pay a lot of attention to the layout inside the core of the planet. I didn't really do much in the way of research before I started this. And consequently, I was doing a lot of looking around trying to work out what was going on. And I've just, I think, realised that, yeah, I'm going to have 3 storms worth of keys to deal with now. And so I'm working my way back to the rover, because the rover is already close to a different storm. So we're going to be able to dive into this one reasonably efficiently. Now, we're almost out of tethers, so, yeah, we're only got a couple left. We're going to tether over to the top of this storm. Not entirely sure why. I think it's more just to ensure that whatever time I spend in the storm getting the counter hack key, I'm, you know, when it comes time to leave the storm, I've got the maximum possible oxygen available in case I end up landing somewhere that takes me longer to get back to the rover or back to a tether line. Honestly, if I did this again, the reason why I would bring more tethers is I'd run tethers probably about 50% of the way down each of these spires, so that I had a more immediate source of oxygen available once I jumped out of each storm. But as you're going to see, I managed okay with what I had. Probably more so because I became a lot more aware of my position relative to where the rover was, and I tried to make sure that I was as close as I could manage on my return journey. So yeah, look, if you come up with a system that works for you, I say run with it. This was a bit of a well, a bit of random chance to some of this, but we still managed to get the job done. Now, we have, if you saw in the distance back there, I don't think I saw it at the time, but there was actually the third storm. It's like a reddish colour, and it was sitting a lot lower on the horizon, like it's over that way. Yeah, see where it is? It's down in there. So I'm now heading off to try and get the red storm, because I've done the green one, and I've done the, I guess it's blue, I can't remember. Yeah, it's blue. I've done the green, I've done the blue. I'm now doing a long jump exercise here to try and get to the middle of the red storm. Now, I have heard that getting around here is a lot quicker and a lot easier if you've managed to unlock the, what's the name of it? The hoverboard. And I'd honestly completely forgotten about it at this stage, but I will agree. If you have the hoverboard, you're going to find the going a hell of a lot easier than what I'm experiencing here, because it's so much faster than just floating in space. Now you can see I missed the core of the red storm, and so now I've got to get back on the tether line, top up my oxygen, and then have another go at it. Let's see how we get on this time. Aha, success. We have our 3 counter hack keys. Now we've just got to work out what we need to do with them. I'm sure our mustachioed friend will have a suitable location for us to plug these in. We've just got to work out exactly where that is. However, before we can do that, we are somewhat fixated with where our next breath of oxygen is going to come from. Aha, there we go. Now that we've got that concern out of the way, I will say, we now need to essentially locate where these plug in. Now, it's not going to be in the core because the firewall is still up. But you've got to assume it's somewhere down there. So we're going to work our way back to the spire. We're going to head back down towards where we located the original item that we needed for... Oh, and there you go. We didn't have to go very far at all. There is our 3 pillars for where the counter hack keys go, and they have their own symbols on them relative to what each of the keys is for. Alright, we better get these plugged in and see what happens next. Alright, and that concludes the efforts here in the core. We did get another one of those hacker manifesto things, which we'll have a look at in a little bit. We're just having a look around just to see if there's anything else down here that we need to deal with. And there does not appear to be anything fancy down here, or at least nothing worthy of our attentions. We're just having a look at our missions, and we can see we can hand this one in. Alright, that's mission complete. Woohoo! Alright, we're going to head back up to the surface and see what else we need to do while we're here. Alright, we managed to get back to up to the surface with no distractions. And we're back here. We're just going to check over a few things while we're here. And I'm just going to give you a bit of a wrap up. I have absolutely enjoyed doing this DLC. Look, if you want to give it a go yourself, I say have at it. If you just want to live vicariously through my eyes, all of it's available on YouTube and several other platforms. Feel free to enjoy those at your leisure. For the moment, this brings us to the end of the series. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to consider hitting the like button and to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. In the meantime, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you have yourself an absolutely fantastic day.